Hi. I said I would be transparent when it comes to all this. Have I been inspired to record? Yeah. Did I do it? No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I think what's important, at least for me, is to make sure that I'm personally documenting and I'm aware of all that's going on, right? But I had to share how knowing this information, you have to make it has to be normal. Like, it has to be normalized. You can't think too much. So yesterday, someone who I hadn't seen in a while said, "Hey, how are things?" And I didn't realize till this morning that I didn't share any good things. I mean, I didn't complain. I mean, wow. I told him about things that weren't working. I joked about, "You set me up for this." In my heart, I know I'm not like disgusted. I'm not like, I know I'm not there. However, we're energetic beings, and it either is or it isn't. There's no, it's just a little bit. It's just a little lie. Right? It's just either is or it isn't. So this morning during my quiet time, I was just thinking, and I was like, oh my God, I too have that tendency to not speak on what's going well, or I haven't switched my day-to-day speech to reflect what it is that I know. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to share. That I caught myself, and yeah, it's a little tough. It's a little tough, especially if you're in an environment where it's mostly or you're mostly seeing what's not working. Just like me, just switch it up. Switch up your lingo. I didn't do much of that today. I still was there. I promise you, I'm not, but I'm happy, I'm a grateful person most of the time. I'm happy most of the time. I'm happy to see my coworkers, and it's not just about the job. It's not just about the job. I have coworkers and acquaintances that like they've shared their personal stories, whether it be an upcoming vacation or their grandchild, or I don't know. Those are the conversations I spark mostly. And I'm realizing that it has to be not mostly, it has to be all the time. And that includes no complaining, awareness to the problem, but don't talk about it, don't think about it, because the energy you're outputting, you don't realize, because you can't measure it. If I say measure your frequency, you can't. At least I don't think you can. I'm sure someone can. But like what we're outputting, I don't know if that's been measured. But consistency is key, right? or you're trying to make a change. So if it seems like change is slow in coming, and the knowledge is that there is no delay except self, and what self is doing is noticing and staying too long as far as focus and attention on what is not working. And in order for self to stop doing that, self needs to feel more, better. And in order for self to feel better, self needs to allow higher self to do most of the thinking, which is mostly feeling. So if I'm talking about what's not working, I should know better. I should, as I'm talking, there should be a voice, something come in there like, you do realize what you're doing, right? You do realize there's no need to, hey, I need to vent. Hey, I need a minute. I think now I want to put myself in a position of, you know what, Danny, you're not doing this right. Because I'm calling it out with love. You know what I said to a nurse today? I said, you know what? I'm sure there was a time where you were a really good nurse. And she laughed. And I meant that because I'm here as the manager having expectations of you not meeting them, and now me having to reprimand, correct, redirect, realign you to do what it is that I know you don't want to do. I know you don't want to do it. And I know the reason you don't want to do it has nothing to do with who you are. Like, you're not a bad person because you're not doing the work. The work that, here's the kicker. You said you would do the work. You signed, you smiled, you went on the interview, and and this is where I'm at, which I'm doing it for myself too, is because you have to draw the line. I don't think it's up to anyone else to make the decisions that are based off of how you're feeling, how you're doing, whether or not you're thriving. You should know whether it's for you or not. You're doing the you're the gauge and the thermometer, right? So you're now, does that make sense? Anyway. Anyway. That's all I wanted to share. That's what I wanted to share. And on the way here, boy, oh boy, I saw 222-333-444-888-8888 just from work to home, about a 30-minute drive. The 888 really repeated a lot. And I don't know what any like how my fellow brothers and sisters, how they can translate that. Some off just the top of their, they just know it. I don't know exactly what they all mean. It just feels really magical. Feels really fun. I feel supported more and more. I see the difference between how my perspective now, especially when it comes to like death and transitioning. right? I have people dying left and right. And part of me is like, thank God, like, because I'm seeing them where others are trying to hang on to them, but there's no quality of life. Like, you're here to live, right? So if you're in a bed and your body's not doing what you want it to do and it's malfunctioning, and granted, if you're able to maintain a positive outlook in that situation, I believe you could turn it around. But the profession that I'm in, the level where I'm at, these people, they're very dissatisfied, very unhappy. A lot of them are on a lot of medications. It could be a very, like, big ball of like a snowball, right? It could be just layers to it. So many layers to the conditions that people find themselves in. So, do I believe that could change? Absolutely. I do. But if you're hearing me, if you're seeing me, it's to prevent that. Okay? I love you so much. Later.